I have all of my pieces for my sweater done. And you can see my sleeves are wider than my 2 front panels. And in the beginning of the pattern, I said, start with your front panels because you can use the front panels to gauge how much you need to increase your sleeve size, if at all. I have big arms, so I added an additional set of 15 stitches to my sleeves. And when you do the back piece, you can see here, that is a set of 15. So whatever you do for the front, you do for the back, but you add 15 because that will be your next space. So you can size this sweater up however big you want. You just have to keep track of your width and the length you decide to make it. So I determine my lengths by this first full unit, and I count up to the end will be a full unit. And it says in the pattern which row that you will end on, and I'm pretty sure it's 7. I'll edit that out if I'm wrong, but you end on a row 7 of the pattern repeat, because what you want is to end with your unit starting again on the edges, and that will give you a much more stable edge for seaming these corners together. As you can see down here, it's kind of how we start the pattern, so it's how we're going to end it. Now, to put this sweater together, so this is my front panel and my large back panel. I will just tack this or pin it or whatever, however you can keep it from slipping around on you. And I will just stitch. I mean, it's stitch for stitch, but you can see that these units will line up. Like here's the tip of a full unit and here's the tip of a full unit. Those stitches will line up. So you will just do that till you reach the inside of the front of the neck. And that will actually be 5 stitches, and they will line up here. Even though this is a full 10 wide, you're going to do half of it to that front panel. And then you'll do the same to the other side. Now, it's not exactly row for row. We'll go to the other one, maybe a better light. It's not exactly row for row when we come to mounting the sleeves to the body. But there is a center stitch. So whatever your center stitch is, that will be what you line up with your seam. Then you will kind of do your best to line up. You don't want to pull it too tight because you'll get bunching. But you're just kind of going to lay it flat, kind of smooth it with your hand, and then pin it. Like I will be pinning with my length and width. My edge falls kind of here. And so that is where I will seam mine together. So it's a partial unit, a half unit, and a half unit. And I'll do the same on the back. Partial unit, half unit, half unit. Now, depending on how you needed to size this for you, it might not look like that. Concept is still the same. Find your center stitch, line it up with the seam, and do your best, making sure that you're not pulling tight or pinching or tugging. I have seamed my sweater together at the shoulders and the sleeves. Now, when I started, I made these sleeves 6 units long. But once I had it all pieced together, and I knew I still wanted to do a cuff on this sleeve, I needed to unwind an entire unit. So how I did that was I just undid the knot I'd done to tie off my work. And I went, and I went all the way back to remove one whole unit, right? So there's a unit and then a half a unit. I took it all the way back to the last of the 3 rows of 5 wide. So the 4 front post double crochet and then your double crochet at the edge here. So you can adjust your sleeves quite easily. If you did not want to add a cuff, you could just do like a short band here to kind of finish it off. The next step will be to fold my work wrong side out. So I have it all lined up. I'm going to line up my corner seams. I'm going to make sure that my top seam is at the shoulder and that my bottoms are going to line up. And I'm going to use scrap yarn to like tie different stitches in place so it doesn't slide around when I try and sew it together. As a curvier gal, I will actually only seam my side seam to about here. So I will leave one full half unit at the edge and this like 4 rows down here. So I will not seam anything here and there or here to here. So, but like all of this up and all the way down the sleeve, I'm gonna seam. And what that's gonna do is it's obviously gonna leave me space for this to kind of go out around my hips and stuff when I sit. But when I do my edging, I will start by like slip stitching a couple and then single crocheting along this edge. Then I will chain 3 and do my front post, back post, double crochet, which I'll show you in a later video, but that's the plan. So pin and sew your sides. If you're curvier, feel free to join me in leaving a couple inches at the edge here, just to give you a little more flexibility there. If you want it seamed all the way down, do that. It's not going to change how we finish it, really. It's still going to look good in the end. I'm just going to add that when you go through and you pin your work sides together that you're going to seam, you want to make sure that you are pinning them so they line up. Like, this is not very good lighting. I'm sorry about that. You've got your first 4 rows where you have just like that little triangle piece here. You have the exact same piece on the other side. So you're going to mark your corner stitches and then you're going to try and mark this same, you know, like the little eye of the feather or whatever you want to call it, a leaf, is a good place to mark it because you can easily find that on both sides of the work. So pin them that way, all the way down as far as you want that seam to go. And then I've been whip stitching my work together. You could try and crochet it, whatever you feel is the best option that you like the finish of best.